Welcome to the Warriors Arise and Mom vlog report. What we call it? Mom vlog, talk vlog. If you are a mom with a successful business, feeling overwhelmed with daily demands of life, today we'll be talking about balancing the summer chaos while also running a business, doing all the mom things. And on this channel, we will share all the things business, faith, parenting tips and tricks to strengthen your identity into all that God has called you to be. If you are a perfect mom, peace out. This channel is not for you. Okay, if you are a mom with a business and want to be a present mom, then this channel is for you. And today we are going to talk about balancing the summer chaos while running a business and doing all things mom related. So Jojo, I know we have an amazing topic today. I feel like you're like a pro at that area because you have balanced so many kids throughout.
Oh my gosh.
So tell us what we got going on today.
Yeah, well, I think it all started because we have five kids, and we had four of them were under four when we started our business. So it was chaos. It was insane. It was nuts. It was everything. And so over the years, we just learn how to, and not like there's perfect, because again, guys, if you're looking for the perfect people, Yhennifer and I are not it.
Please.
We have lived through trials and errors, just like every other mom. We have figured out what works, what doesn't work. But you guys, the things that I'm going to teach today in America, like it is summertime. It is kids are getting out of school next week. They're graduating. I mean, Yennefer is going to a graduation party right after this call, right? And so usually when I talk to moms, they're like, I am so excited for the summer for my kids to have the break and there's no homework and like schedules can slow down. But I am so scared because the chaos just ramps up in my house. Then I get irritable because I have so many things I need to do and I'm not used to everybody being home. And it just becomes this huge, hard thing. So, guys, we're going to eliminate that today. Okay. There's a few steps that I like to implement. And obviously, again, my business started when my kids were under four, and Kai was like 6 or 7-ish. So it's not like he was old either. Um, and when we started it, it was like, okay, how do we balance all this? And in the beginning, it was like pure chaos. And then we got to a point, well, we're asking our children to use their words when they need something. So I'm going to use my words. So step one is use your words. Okay. If you say that you have a call at 12 o'clock or whatever, obviously little kids have no concept of time. So if you say mom has a call at 12 o'clock and you're talking to your 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 7-year-old can kind of grasp the time, but 5 and 6-year-old, they're learning that. It's not something that they're going to be like, okay, mommy, I'm going to be quiet at 12 o'clock. It's not going to happen. It's not. And so if you set that timer, you take a timer, a little timer, and you keep it with you. Otherwise, they're just going to be pushing buttons on it. And you say, hey, mommy is on a call from as soon as this timer goes off, I get to have time with you again. So I'm going to hang out with you for a little while before. And then I'm going to set my timer and I'm going to have my timer. Do you have a timer? Is that what? Yep.
Listen, I went to grab this because I have a little sign here that says busy and it turns
Yes.
on.
Yes. I don't even know where my sign went, but it's something that I made with one of my clients. And it literally, I put it on the back of my door when I'm in a call and it says, stop, mom's on a call, but I love you. And then it says like, you're amazing. And it has all these little things on it. So they're reading it outside my door. And it's like, it's funny. And they're like, stop, mom's on a call. Oh, but she loves us, right? So they get that reminder of like,
I love
you know
that.
what? Mom's a little busy for a minute, but you still have that time. But so I love that. That as well is a huge, huge tip. Is to put something outside your door that they already know, like, mom's not trying to be mean, she's not trying to shut you out. She's just has one thing she's got to do, and then she can hang out with you more. And then she's got another thing she's got to do, and then she can hang out with you more. Plan your days, you guys. I know it's so easy during the summertime that, oh, did you want to say something, Yhennifer?
Wanted to like add in with what you mentioned about like communicating and like letting them know like they have no concept of time like you mentioned. Like
Yes.
before I got on this call, I had to remind my kids, hey guys, I'm about to start recording, right? So it's like you
Yes.
have
Me
to
too.
communicate because if you don't listen, okay, they forget, they are in their own
Yeah.
work, they want to
Yeah.
play, like they're not paying attention to your work-life balance. Okay, in their mind there is
Yes.
work-life balance. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You're just mom to them. You're not business owner. And although they know you have a business, it's not there, right? So, I mean, even right now, I can hear my kids wrestling. They were supposed to be eating breakfast, right? Sometimes they aren't going to listen when you're on your call. And what are you going to do? Are you going to interrupt everything? And that is the second point. Okay, so first of all, plan your days. Know when you have breaks and be intentional with your kids with those breaks. Second thing is set that timer. If you know it's going to be a 30-minute call, set the timer for 30 minutes. Give them something to do in those 30 minutes, but set that timer. Obviously, if you have teenagers, you can be more like with my 12-year-old, I can be like, okay, I'm going to be on a call from this time to this time. Make sure you're quiet, right? He'll go jump on the trampoline or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. He'll occupy his time. But for the littles, it's like waiting for paint to dry for them to be able to wait for mom to be done, right? It is so hard for them. And so give yourself some grace that if things are not silent in the background, now obviously everybody has to be a little different, right? When I am talking to moms in the thick and thin of things, I can't have my kids screaming and yelling in the background and fighting, right? It's a distraction, and sometimes it's okay to have that distraction in the background and other times it's not. And so if I'm just working on business stuff, I don't care what, they can do whatever in the background and it's whatever. But communicating with them, using your words exactly like we had said. And then the other thing that I was going to share, and I totally forgot what it was now that it skipped my mind. I'm drawing a complete blank on what I was going to go with next. Oh, that was what it was. Because we want to be intentional and because we don't want the business to take over our family, right? Because we all set into the business for that time freedom, the financial freedom. Like that's why we own a business. Otherwise, we just do a 9 to 5. It's a lot easier. It's, all these things. You don't feel as lonely. You're surrounded by people all the time, like all that stuff. But owning a business is just different and it takes different people. And so with that, you have to have the different skills to know that you still need to be an intentional mom. You can run your business, you can have your chaos, and you can have it all, right? But the balance is the key. Set out in the morning and be like, okay, these are the things that I must do. What things can I do with my kids, right? When we were doing marriage coaching during the summer, my sons, I have 4 boys and 1 girl. So my kids would always be like, Mom, can we do a Facebook Live? That's perfect. They can do that. They can help me with a Facebook Live. And on the Facebook Live, I would just usually say something like, what can mom and dads do better with business and marriage? And they have again, because we're not perfect, they have no worries on saying what they're going to say. Well, dads could do this, or moms could do that more, or I wish mom and dads could spend more time with me, right? So like, if you can help them use their words, then it's much easier for you to use yours. Like if it all goes together. If you use yours, they use theirs. If you use yours, they use theirs, right? Hope that came out in English. The other part that I wanted to talk about was managing your emotions when you're feeling stressed. Because again, the kids don't have a concept of what mom's doing, right? And they don't know how important it is. And if you're doing something that is so, so stressful, then maybe it's time for dad to take them to like a trampoline park or somewhere else, or you go somewhere else for that hour or 2 hours or whatever it is, so you can actually get your things done.
I
And
love
again,
that.
like,
I love that. So
yeah,
my place is Starbucks. Like I love Starbucks. Okay. So when I feel like overwhelmed in the house, in the office or whatever, like my office has an open space. So it's like I don't
mhm,
have a closed complete office. So it's like I can
yeah,
hear everything that goes on in this house. So when I feel like okay, like they're not listening, or I really have to get something done, or I need to get on a call where I need super quietness, my 2 places is I go to Starbucks or I sit at the library. So the library, in most places, in most towns, I don't know where you're watching from, but most places have those little rooms that you can rent and it's free.
mhm,
Okay. So you have like your own little room to yourself and you can go do calls and do what you need to do. I love that. So either dad take the kids out or mom get out
yep.
of the house and get a little break because we need that.
Yes. And you're going to be more productive anyway, because if you're sitting at your desk and you're so frustrated, I mean, I get this all the time. Like, I am mad all the time when I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just told them to be quiet, right? Like, I'm pretty sure 2 seconds ago you heard my son in the hallway, right? They know better, right? My office is off to the side behind a hallway, but downstairs near a bathroom. So it's like, and near the 2 living rooms. So if they're loud in the living room, you're gonna hear it, right? It's just like what Yennefer said. So it's like, if I'm sitting here stewing, I'm not going to be productive. And that's just what it is. And again, like if you're that perfect mom that's like, I never get mad and that's great. Perfect. This one is not for you. But I'm talking to the real moms where it's like sometimes we do get frustrated because we think in consequences and we're like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that, and in order to do this, and like, and it's frustrating, it's hard, and it's lonely being a business owner where other moms just don't get it. They just don't. And so you're able to regulate your time and help eliminate some of the chaos in the summertime by allowing them to have their schedules too, because kids need it as well. In our house, we do quiet time, and we do it or we do it for 2 hours or 1 hour. It all depends on how the day is. If they are all grumpy, it's like 2 hours because it's like they just need that time to either take a nap or to do something alone or whatever. But it's quiet time, and we do where they read a book or they do math or and most of my kids love math, so it's like it's not torture for them. But the ones that hate math, it's definitely not fun for them. But in that time, it's like those are the times that I'm going to be doing the most productive things that I need quiet for. So when they're in quiet time, I get to have my quiet time. And so
Yeah.
it just becomes a whole family thing, you know? And then when you're home, do the thing. When you say you're going to be done by 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock or whatever, you are done, right? Like you're putting your stuff away and you're done. Now, does it mean that you're not going to come back to it later? If you need to come back to it later, come back to it later. But if you said, I'm going to be done by 1 o'clock and we're going to go to the trampoline park or we're going to go tramp on, like, do whatever in the backyard or whatever, do the thing. Don't say, I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it later because kids hold on to that. And kids are like, well, mom doesn't keep her promises. So I'm not going to keep mine. Right. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be quiet. Mom's never going to come out. Right. And so if we're able to balance that, and like obviously maybe we need like a whole summer series because there's so many things that happen in the summer that you're just not prepared for because you're so used to the being in school that it becomes now hard, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
But
one
yeah,
thing that I did in the earlier years of like working from home and dealing with the summer chaos, I used to create
mhm.
like a schedule for the kids, and I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So that didn't really work out. So I want to share here kind of like what didn't work out and like what we pivoted to.
Yes.
So that first year, they hated the summer. They were like, they didn't even want school to end because, most kids want school to end because they have free time in the
So
summer.
rigid.
So they didn't want school to end the following year because her schedule sucks. And like they will say all those things, right? And I'm like, 'cause I'm a checklist schedule person. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't happen, right? So I try to like put that on them, like you need a schedule
Yeah.
because you need to keep yourself occupied. Okay, so that didn't work the first year. So then when we pivoted to the following year, um, I said, okay, well, if you can keep yourself entertained, that you just figure it out. You figured out how you want to run your day in the summer when they were not in between summer camps, and I'll talk about summer camps too. So that worked for like a week in the summer, and
Uh-huh.
then it came to me, Mom, I'm bored. I need a schedule
Uh-huh.
to figure out something to do. I'm bored. I'm bored. So
Yes.
what we pivoted to from that and that second summer was okay, so let's sit down together and create a schedule that you want, right? So it's like we didn't put like hourly things, but we put like time blocks, like
Yes.
in the morning, what do you want to do in the morning when you wake up? So they will pick either, Lego building or, learning something on YouTube because I'm really strict about the whole YouTube situation because there's so much crap out there.
There's
There's
so much.
amazing channels like this one, but there's also a lot of bad channels for your children. So you have to be very careful what they're watching on YouTube. So when we do YouTube time, it's like, what are you learning? Like, are you learning a skill? Or
Yes.
even if it's Minecraft, okay, are you learning how to build something on Minecraft? Like you have to be very careful. So anyway, we pivoted to like blocks of time of things that they wanted to do, and we built the schedule together. I put it on a Google Doc. I printed it out for them. It would be a copy on the fridge, so whenever they were downstairs, they could see what time block we're in, and they could see what they should be doing. And every child had their own copy in their room, and that has worked for us in the last few years. Like that's what I do here for the summers, and I feel like since they took ownership of creating that, we haven't created ours yet. We'll be creating ours for this summer in the next week or two because school is over here too in a week. But I feel like when they take ownership of that, like you said, like letting them use their words too, they're more happy about it and they're more likely to participate and follow through if they put input in it, right? Versus like the first time
Yeah.
I was trying to force them to do what I wanted them to do, and it was the
Yes.
no, it wasn't like, but it was like mom did it and she gave the time blocks and all of that. So it was like it was like,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly. We do the exact same thing. It's the time blocks. At 1 o'clock, we're done, right? Like that's exactly how we do it too. Is like the kids have to have their input because it's exactly what you said. It's like they want that independence. The kids are building their independence, and at 6 and 7, that's their prime time of being like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and then moving forward to teenage years and all that stuff. So it's like it really, really helps to have them use their words and say what they need. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that. And we also do, I love that you have the quiet time. We do like
Yes.
meditation time. So it's like time to just put on some relaxing music and just sit there and do so, you know, if you want to sleep, you can sleep. If you want to think, if you want to write, if you want to draw, you can do, you know, quietly, we do meditation time.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I like, I'm always doing like a month or two before school is over, is like figuring out what activities I could plug them into. Like summer camps or like Bible school, like our church is doing like
Okay.
VBS, right? Like vacation Bible school. Yeah, VBS, yeah. Vacation Bible School. There's a bunch of churches that do it. Sometimes I'll start looking like even churches that are not our churches, see, okay, like if I do this church one week and they do the, you know, the other church another week, and I'll pick like two Bible you know, summer camps. And I already have Sam, like the smallest, my smallest, I don't have like smaller kids anymore right now. My youngest is 10 years old, so he's getting up there to like
It's a
preteen.
great age.
Yeah, so he's the only one that is doing most of the things right now. Everybody else is kind of doing their own thing. Um, so I have the Bible study for him already, the Bible camp for our church already lined up, and he's doing two summer camps for theater and music. Like he likes theater and music, and it's like arts, it's like a arts theater thing. So I try to find places where I can drop off and I don't have to be there at least for a few hours. So like the specific one that I found for theater is only 3 hours a day for 1 week, and that's one camp, and then 3 hours a day for one
Yeah.
week. That's the other camp. So when I drop them off, you know, like I'll find a Starbucks in that area and pop up my computer. I, you know, all we need is Wi-Fi and we'll make the world go round, right? Like we could run
Yes.
businesses, do calls, work on stuff, Wi-Fi. So I'll sit in Starbucks, you know, and this is gonna be in July. Those 3 hours and then come back, scoop them up and come home and they could, you know, work on the rest of the schedule that they put together. That's kind of what I have planned, but I did take a note because obviously Jojo shared like what has worked for her family, and I've shared like what hasn't, and has worked for my family too. But what I wrote here while you were talking, Jojo, is like moms need to find out what works for them. And this is
Yes.
no perfect way, right? It's like trying different things because that's how I figured out like what was going to work for our family. We tried one thing and it worked. Okay, so you might have to try three different things and it might not work. So find what works for you and your children, and also guide them into, you know, when they have their free time or their time that they're creating their schedule, push them and guide them to things that they love to do. Because if you
Yes.
do that, you know, it will save you some chaos. I'm not saying that the whole summer is going to be a, you know, white picket fence, beautiful summer. Yay, it's amazing because that's not realistic and we're real up in here. But
Yes.
it will reduce the chances of stress if you know, try different things and allow them and you just guide them, you know, like push them along to the things that they love to do. And then one last thought is like when I talk about like guiding them, it reminded me of like the Montessori school life. Like our kids went to Montessori school for many many years, and they don't really have teachers. They have guides. They call them guides. And they would love to go to school because the kid is a child-led learning. So if you like just take that approach for the summer, even if you don't have them in private Montessori school, but in the summer in your house, like take that approach of like child-led learning and let them be curious of and guide them and give them the
Yes.
resources they need. So if they want to, you know, build a volcano or something, right? Like go buy the things that they need to like, like give them the resources and guide them to do what they want to do. And it will save you so much headaches. Trust me.
Yes. Side note on that real fast, since you mentioned the volcano. Last summer, my kindergartner and well, he's kindergarten this year, and my first grader decided to get together, and they knew how to build the volcano because we've done it many times before, supervised, and they decided to make one in their bedroom. So
Oh,
make sure, that is another tip, is make sure that whatever you do not want down, don't leave it down if they're little, right? Like if they know how to make a volcano, make sure that stuff is put away when you're on your call,
yeah.
right? Because they're going to be like, "Mom said I could occupy my time. I'm going to go make a volcano in my bedroom." It doesn't work in the bedroom. Kitchen, fine. You can clean that up easily, but baking soda out a carpet is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
So, just so you know.
You have to be very specific with instructions with these children. Like you have
Yes.
to like break it down, kindergarten level, even if they're older, okay? Because then they'll come back and say, but you didn't tell me. But I didn't
Yeah.
know. You know, like
I didn't know you were gonna go egg a car. Yeah.
how many times have you heard that? I didn't know. You didn't tell me.
Yes.
You have to be like super specific when you are wanting to create space for work and they're doing something else. Be super specific, like you mentioned, like communicating, but you have to be
Yes.
very clear and baby language. Okay, like the smaller words, you know, like kindergarten level. Like here we go. This is what we're gonna do, and communication is the key. And then the last thing for myself that I do is, and I do this all year round, it's like the planning, how you said planning your day. So in the morning, like before I got,
Yes.
you know, before I get ready for the day, I have my planner and I
Yep.
plan
I got
out
mine.
day. Yeah, my day of what I have to do. I do weekly planning for myself at every Sunday so I could like plan my week. And then every morning I like review, okay, what did I say I was gonna do this week? And then add on any little extra things that pop up,
Yes.
you know, taking a kid here to this birthday party or whatever, right? So I plan out my whole day in the morning just so that I am also aware, because we get so busy, especially if you have multiple kids and there's so much going on. We get so busy that we confuse busyness for productiveness. Like just because you're
Yes.
busy doesn't mean you're productive. So if you actually plan out your day, you will be more productive. Your family will know exactly what you have going on. The kids know what they need to do, right? So it's like you have to incorporate some planning frameworks in your daily life and create those habits, because without
And
that
maybe
it's hard.
And maybe that is a video that we need to do like next is different planning systems because some people love the calendar, some people hate it. And I'm like, I do a mixture of things. I use my planner for everything, but I do a mixture of things because I have ADHD. And so sometimes I'm like, if the planner is out of sight, it's out of mind. And the
Yeah.
phone, I will never even think to go to my phone. But there are about 50 million things that I help moms with this all the time. And even youth with this all the time, where it's like, molding a system to them that actually works. So maybe that's a call we need to do is
Love that.
yeah,
Jojo, put that on our list for topics,
put it on our
okay?
list.
Because I love that. I am a super planner and I've used many different planning systems and I do incorporate a couple different things too. And then my husband does something totally different. So it's like,
Totally different.
I work, you know, find what works for you. So I love that. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel, okay, so that you can get the notification, because we will be doing a video on planning frameworks. I love coaching that. I love teaching that. I've coached,
Yes.
you know, hundreds of entrepreneurs with planning frameworks. So that's definitely one of my jams. We could totally do that. Okay. All right, Jojo.
Perfect.
Any other last minute tips for the summer chaos that's
I would
about
just
to come
say,
on?
I know, right? I would say when the chaos hits, that means that it needs to be intentional mom time, right? Either intentional mom one-on-one with the kids or intentional mom, I need to go take a shower or go get to Starbucks or go do something else. Because if you're mad, it's not productive. Now we're all there because we all get mad and it's just an emotion. But at the same time, let's make it as productive as possible.
Go do your
Bye,
nails
guys.
or something. Go do your nails.
Yes,
Some self
something.
care time. Okay. All right. Well,
Yes.
guys, we're so excited. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. We look forward to
Yes.
chatting with you some more. Let us know in the comments if there's any other topics or anything else that you would like for us to talk about. We are here to talk about all the things. Okay. All the
All
things.
of it.
Jojo, thank you for your time. I love you so much. See you guys in the next video.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Peace.